tech innovators, and traditional craftsmen. These enterprises collectively fuel job creation and lead economic growth. Now, in the face of adversities, especially the challenges brought about by sluggish global economic outlook, geopolitical tensions, and supply chain disruptions, to say nothing of the coming macroeconomic headwinds, the Indian MSME sector has done well for itself. The sector, contributing over 30% of our GDP, that's one-third, and generates employment for over 10 million individuals, the sector has exhibited a remarkable resilience, becoming the cornerstone of India's economic stability amidst a turbulent global landscape. As India charts its course in the global arena, acknowledging and applauding the endeavor of businesses driving this growth story is indeed important, and that's why we are all here today. This is exactly what the ET MSME Awards 2023 are all about, to salute the incredible contributions of all these micro, small, and medium businesses. This year, the fourth edition of the ET MSME Awards had the record participation of over 15,000 MSMEs across 26 diverse award categories. A meticulous selection process, guided by a knowledge partner and a 7-member jury, involved the evaluation of contenders against a set of rigorous quantitative and qualitative benchmarks. Please raise your hands to applaud the members of our jury: Mr. Madan Padaki, co-founder Game India, founder and CEO iBridge, and President TIE Bengaluru; Ms. Hema Annamalai, co-founder and vice chair Green Collar Agritech Solutions, founder and former CEO Ampere Electric; Rama Devi, founder and president, Association of Lady Entrepreneurs of India; Mr. Mukesh Mohan Gupta, president, Chamber of Indian MSME; Mr. Ponnuswamy M., founder and MD, Ponpure Chemicals Group and co-chairman of the CII MSME National Council; R. Narayan, founder and CEO, Power to SME, and president, FICCI CMSME. The applause has gone down? All right. Little more coffee needed. And last but not the least, Mr. Srikanth Srinivasan, Vice President, NASSCOM. Just remember, if you don't applaud for others, when you go on stage, nobody will applaud for you. And the Indian MSME sector is worth applauding and celebrating because these are remarkable achievements. Jury members, those of you who are in the hall with us, thank you for your support and commitment. Thank you also to our sponsors for the event. Our technology partner, Apparel Business, thank you. Silver partner, Northern Arc, and evaluation partner, CareEdge. With that, I would now like to invite Pranbihanga Borpujari, Associate Editor, ET Digital, for the welcome address. Pran, can we have you on stage?
Entrepreneurs, representatives of various embassies, members from different associations, the jury, ladies and gentlemen, I extend my welcome to the ET MSME Awards 2023. The Union Cabinet Minister for Ports, Shipping and Waterways and Ministry of Ayush, Sarbanand Sonowal, was supposed to be with us today, but the situation arising in Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh after the cyclone meant the minister had to rush to the states to coordinate relief efforts. The cyclone has been disastrous, and we stand in solidarity with everyone affected. The minister extends his warm wishes to all the nominees and the winners tonight, and he's even recorded a message which we'll play shortly. So MSMEs are undervalued and underappreciated for the economic contributions they make. How can we change that? Thus began our quest to find India's best micro, small, and medium enterprises through the Economic Times MSME Awards. In its fourth edition this year, the awards has grown in scope and scale. Today, we have 26 different award categories, making it the largest and the most comprehensive MSME award in the country. We had over 15,000 entries this year, and it took us more than 5 months to narrow it down to you, ladies and gentlemen. I take this opportunity to also thank our jury members who have diligently gone through each and every entry and ensured that we have our winners tonight. Our esteemed jury and we at ET agree that MSMEs are the bedrock of the economy. The entrepreneurs behind the MSMEs create job, wealth, create empowerment, and uplift societies. If India has to become a $5 trillion economy, these movers of the economy have to come of age. But what needs to be done to encourage entrepreneurship in the poorest of communities so that we can eradicate extreme poverty and accelerate our growth? Today, things are different from what it was in 2020. Forces shaping businesses include acceleration of digital economy, technology, geopolitical changes around the world, demand for skills, and sustainability. These factors will increasingly play an important role in our economic growth. We must encourage companies to create jobs, wealth, and economic opportunities. We've always been strong in services, but we are now seeing increased exuberance in manufacturing. Shifts in supply chain, programs like Make in India and the PLI scheme have proved to be the wind beneath the wings for the businesses. For example, our automobile industry has shown what it means to be world-class, and we now seem to be replicating it across different sectors. From being an importer of mobile phones, today India is a major exporter. India is today a major player in different sectors like chemicals, pharma, engineering goods, and in each of these sectors, MSMEs are the major drivers. India has roughly about 800 million people of working age, and will add about 200 million more people in the next 3 decades. Manufacturing employs about 50 to 60 million at the moment. Even with a conservative estimate that we get to a $3 trillion GDP, manufacturing has the potential to create 85 million more jobs. Get to 5 trillion, we can create 90 million jobs, which is a big boost for income and has a strong multiplier effect on the economic growth. This brings me to my second point. MSMEs today need to be the petri dish for innovation. The importance of innovation is vital, and we can say that in the context of the pandemic. From testing kits to vaccines, Indian firms rose to the occasion. The needs of a modern and transforming Indian economy are different. MSMEs have often been accused of failing to scale. But if we have to be a $5 trillion economy, not growing is not a choice. What is heartening to see is that MSMEs in this very room represents everything that Indian small businesses can do when they've set their eyes on the goal. I'm a great believer of MSMEs helping MSMEs. Can services of one MSME help another? Can products of one MSME be the raw material for another small business? Can a new energy efficient furnace power the forging business in Ludhiana? And at the same time, can a small business, which is in the cloud solution business, help another company in digital transformation? The Indian way of doing business has to be about technology. MSMEs have to power to drive down cost and technology and make it affordable for everyone. We have to make technology affordable, scalable, and available to the smallest of the companies. And this is how you can change the ecosystem. We must make this happen. Companies, innovators, entrepreneurs, researchers, technologists, investors are the ones who need to drive such advances. Last year, the government came up with the competitiveness roadmap for India at the rate 100. The idea behind the report was to guide India to become a high-income country by 2047 through sector-specific and region-specific policies, which is based on the 4S principles. So what is 4S? The document says prosperity growth to be matched by social progress, to be shared across all regions within India, to be environmentally sustainable and be solid in the face of external shocks. So your S are social progress, shared across different regions, sustainable and solid. With these 4 principles, I think sustainability is one area that MSMEs would need to be most proactive about. During my conversations with the tea growers of Assam, they say they are struggling because of changes in rain pattern and climatic conditions, putting entire businesses and livelihood of people at risk. Through the course of this evening, you will hear this word sustainable a lot, and I think rightly so. MSMEs are ambitious and have a gritty determination. As the country looks to scale to new heights, the small businesses of India have an outsized contribution to make. And we are honored and grateful that we too are playing a part in this journey. I congratulate all our nominees and winners this evening and wish you all continued success. Thank you.
Thank you, Pran. Like Pran said, next up we have a video message from Mr. Sarbananda Sonowal, Union Cabinet Minister for the Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways and Ministry of Ayush. Unfortunately, he was scheduled to be with us in person, but unfortunately, he could not be with us in person. But here is his message. Take a look.
Namaskar. Many thanks to Economic Times Digital for inviting me to the grand finale of ET MSME Awards 2023. Due to some pressing engagement, I regret that I am unable to physically attend. MSMEs are rightly called the backbone of our economy. The contribution to nation building have been staggering, and their role is providing employment to millions of Indians, demonstrate their ability to carry the weight of the economy on their shoulders. The often repeated figures, 45% of the country's industrial output and 40% of the total export, further demonstrate the indispensable role of small businesses. It is therefore fitting that Economic Times Digital should reward the excellent MSMEs that power the country's economy. The initiative to recognize MSME in 26 different award categories show over 10,000 self-nominations this year that went through a very detailed scrutiny of the application. This government, led by our visionary Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji, places a lot of importance on MSMEs, and it is heartening to see the role of MSMEs are playing in nation building. My ministry, Ports, Shipping and Waterways, is one of the most important pillars of exim trade and commerce, and over the last 9 years, we have worked tirelessly to strengthen trade through maritime routes. Our initiative under the flagship program of Sagarmala, our transformative initiative in the inland waterways sector, cruise tourism sector, coastal shipping modernization and mechanization of port sector, reforms in legislation and international cooperation have created a harmonious ecosystem and propelled the Indian maritime sector to global height. I congratulate every winner and nominee in this gathering today. Each of you is a winner for the resilience you have shown in the economic benefits you have created. I also congratulate Economic Times Digital for this initiative and wish the program every success. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Minister. With that, we move on to our first set of awards. And to present this award, this set of awards, may I invite on stage Mr. Mukesh Mohan Gupta, President, Chamber of Indian MSME. Mr. Gupta, can we have you on stage? And to join Mr. Gupta, may I invite Mr. Fajar Subki, Professional Assistant to Trade Attaché, Office of the Indonesian Embassy. Mr. Subki. All right, let's get started. Just remember, these are hands. This is clapping loudly. This is mouth if you want to whistle. So the MSME sector is one of India's most vibrant sectors. You've heard 30% of India's GDP, 10 million jobs created. You cannot keep quiet about this. You cannot keep calm, right? We need noise. We have 26 awards. You need to keep your energy up for 26. We'll reward you with dinner and drinks after that. Agreed? All right. We also have AI cameras that are spotting those who are not clapping. You will not get dinner or drinks. So just be careful. All right. No, clap once the winners come on stage. You don't need to clap for me. Right. Our first award category is the top performing listed Indian SME. Here are the nominees. This award aims to recognize and celebrate the top performing listed Indian SMEs listed either on the BSE SME or the NSE Emerge in the past year. And the winner for the top performing listed MSME for the year is Network People Services Technologies Limited. May I invite the top leadership from Network People Services to come up on stage and receive the award. Good, that's a healthy round of applause. Okay, the awards and the citation. Congrats, Network People. Presenters, you need to stay on stage for a little while longer. Thank you, sir. Congratulations. Our next award category is Best CSR by an Indian SME, and here are the nominees. Today, a company obviously needs to be a corporate citizen as well, and a good corporate citizen at that. Socially responsible businesses, those are those that care for its customers, workers, investors, and believe in the greater good of society. The winner for Best CSR by an Indian SME is Jamshedpur Chlorochem Private Limited. May I invite the leadership of Jamshedpur Chlorochem onto stage? Congratulations, Jamshedpur Chlorochem. All right, before we let our presenters off stage, a couple of quick questions. First question for you, Mr. Gupta. As someone who's part of the MSME enabling ecosystem, how do you see the future of this crucial sector? What are the challenges they're going to face in 24?
So there are two questions, the future and the challenges. I suppose since the independence of the country, the challenges being faced by the MSMEs are same. Yes or no? वही बैंक लोन नहीं देता है, right? There are technological problems, there are delayed payment issues, there are non-awareness about the policies and schemes by the government and then implementation. So these are some of the challenges which every MSME is faced in fact. But the golden part is that the era where we are nowadays, I suppose this is the era of the MSMEs. Because now the government understands that the MSMEs are the backbone of any economy and particularly the Indian economy. They play very, very important role in the development of the country. और ये जो 5 ट्रिलियन इकोनॉमी पे हमें पहुंचना है, मुझे लगता है कि it is all because of you. तो एक बार जोरदार अपने लिए तालियां बजाइए प्लीज. आपके कंधों पर भार है इंडिया को 5 ट्रिलियन इकोनॉमी बनाने का लिए, एंड आई एम क्वाइट कॉन्फिडेंट कि विद योर सपोर्ट, विद द सपोर्ट ऑफ MSMEs एंड स्टार्टअप्स ऑफ आवर कंट्री, वी विल डेफिनेटली अचीव इट much before the target being set by the government. Thank you very much.
Mr. Sabki, quick question for you. What is the country of Indonesia looking for from Indian small businesses, small, micro and medium businesses?
Actually, the first time I want to say thank you for inviting me. This is my first time coming. So, actually, Indonesia and India has many cooperation in business, small business. Actually, we also have the focus like in medicine, in chemical, and also in agriculture. We do cooperation much. But seeing in the Indian today and our cooperation today, I really believe and I see how Indonesia developed today. India will really be the big country for after. Maybe in future with this technology, the fair development, and the diplomatic also, the development India, I believe start from today, India, Indonesia will do make more collaboration, will do make more cooperation, and then we can reach become the biggest country in the world together. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gupta. Thank you, Mr. Sabki. May I request you to take your seats. We move on to our next set of awards for the evening. And to present the awards, may I invite on stage Mr. Gaurav Kedia, Chairman, Indian Biogas Association. Mr. Kedia. Our next award is for the Automobile and OEM MSME of the Year. And here are the nominees. There you go, the nominees. Nominees for Automobile and OEM MSME. This award applauds enterprises that have demonstrated exceptional prowess in advancing manufacturing technology and OEM manufacturing capabilities, thereby significantly impacting India's automobile industry landscape. The winner in this category is ADM Joint Flex India. May I invite the top leadership of ADM Joint Flex. So may I ask you a quick question? What is the secret of your success? I can hold that for you if you'd like.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. First of all, thank you for this award. So, I would say ADM Joint Flex is into automotive component manufacturing, and so we were in 2019. In 2019 we were 100 crores. But in last financial year, we did 230 crores. So we are moving out of MSME, and maybe this year we'll be out of MSME. But the main success for this growth is definitely India is booming, the automotive sector is doing good, and we have a Korean tie-up through which we have all the technology in-house, which is helping us. And right now, we are largest EGR tube manufacturer within the country, and we have close to 80% market share. Thank you.
All right, let's move on to our next category. Our next award category is Pharmaceutical and Healthcare MSME of the Year, and here are the nominees. Sorry, give me a second. This award spotlights the pioneering strides of a company within the critical pharma and healthcare domain a company that has spearheaded advancements in pharma manufacturing, healthcare solutions, and innovative contributions that have positively influenced this industry. The winner in this category is Johari Digital Healthcare Private Limited. May I invite the leadership of Johari Digital onto stage. How do I take care of my health, sir? What's the number one hack for taking care of my health?
So thanks a lot. I thank the jury and ET for arranging this. In short, I would like to tell that Johari Digital was started in 1979 as a medical device company. Those were times when no one thought of, because every medical device was being imported from US and other countries to India, and this was against the tide in in that era. Today we are basically manufacturing medical devices for 80% of our client base is from US. So we are proudly manufacturing medical devices for US companies and various global companies, which also includes companies which are funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, like the GH Labs, doing some really path-breaking work. So it's been a long journey for Johari, and we feel proud. This journey, which started 40 years ago, today, now, I think is a very good time for us, where we are delivering on medtech solutions. Thank you. And to answer your care about healthcare, yeah, I think, the biggest, everybody talks about cure, but nobody talks about prevention, because that's not a money-making industry, yeah? So 1 hour of workout daily is the secret to being really healthy. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations, Johari. Please stay on stage with us for a little while longer, sir. All right, Mr. Kedia, thank you for doing the honors. May I request you to take your seats? Sorry, Mr. Kedia, I need to call you back. I forgot to ask you a question. Sorry, my mistake. Now, if you're a startup, there's lots of celebration, lots of awards, lots of media coverage. SMEs and MSMEs don't get the same coverage or the same celebration. What can we do to address this sort of distortion?
I mean, definitely that's a good question. I always ask myself as well. I teach in IIM Ahmedabad as well. So that's one of the things I think we should push further, because MSME is the foundation of a country like India. So I can't agree more that they should get, if not less, the equal importance when you compare with any startup. I mean, they are the startup as well. What is a startup doing? They are solving a problem. And MSME is solving one of the biggest problem is that of job. So definitely they should be considered at par with any other startup which you are talking. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Kedia. Sorry for sending you off stage and bringing you back. Now we move on to the next set of awards, and to present them, I'd like to first invite Chandrima Chatterjee, Secretary General, Confederation of Indian Industry. And to join her, I would like to invite Mr. M. Ponuswamy. Can we have you on stage, sir? Coming up next is the award for Electrical and Electronics MSME of the Year, and here are the nominees. All right, this recognition honors businesses that have demonstrated outstanding achievements in enhancing electrical infrastructure, fostering technological advancements, and contributing significantly to India's electrical and electronic industry landscape. The winner in this category, ladies and gentlemen, is Autotex Private Limited. May I invite the leadership of Autotex onto stage. So a quick question for you. Yeah, finish your photo up. Finish your photo up. So a quick question for you. How do we know this is the real you and not the AI avatar of you? How do I test it?
Thank you for my award. Actually, we are into that electrical electronics for the pump controller and watering systems and we have some other parts also for the electrical items. So we mainly do business with the Middle East countries. So that is how we got into this business, and yeah, thank you for this.
Okay, congratulations, sir. We are certified this is the real version of you and not the robotic version of you. Congratulations. Coming up next. Coming up next is Clothing and Apparel MSME of the Year, and here are the nominees. Now, before I tell you about the winners in this category, let me tell you what's coming up next. We have an engaging fireside chat on the topic, creating a digital blueprint, technology as a solution. That's coming up in just a little while, but coming back to the award, this accolade celebrates an enterprise that has made significant strides in fashion and garment manufacturing, leaving a lasting impact on India's clothing industry through its remarkable achievements. The winner in this category is Mustang Enterprises. May I invite the leadership of Mustang onto stage? Already give it, I should give it my best shot? All right. There's an old saying that's in clothing makes the man. What makes the woman?
I think it's resilience, patience. and moreover, I have to say something that huge thank you for this. It's a great honor. We're a women-founded company. We manufacture socks. We employ 450 people. We make 1 million pairs a month. I resonate with every single point that you guys have made on manufacturing here. Sustainability, traceability, transparency is what we need to work on. And it's a tough task. We're here because we're resilient. And I thank you so much for this. Thank you.
Men can have the clothes, women have the resilience. Right. Ms. Chatterjee, how do you perceive the role of technology in the Indian SME? Are Indian SMEs at par with their global counterparts?
Only in terms of technology, then of course technology is a huge area today. There are of course some areas where we are there. We are talking of something called smart factories, smart textiles. You have 4.0, 5.0 kind of terminologies. No, a lot of SMEs are not there. A lot of them are there. But I think the whole thing, especially coming from the sector, textiles and apparel, it depends on the requirement. Wherever there is a requirement, I see a lot of adaptation there, especially for MSMEs. In fact, that's our strength. We are very flexible, we are very adaptable. But yeah, that's an area we can do better also.
We're good, but can do better. Mr. Ponnuswamy, you were on the jury that selected the winners so far. What specifically were you looking for in the winner?
I think, see, Indian MSMEs has a lot of opportunities. But MSMEs who are winners, I think they have consistently grown. And they have used technology. And many of them, they're exporting that product. Because if you are making only in India, the growth will be less. But when you are with this experience, you are exporting, and many of them are exporters. I think it's a great opportunity. You are exporting job for nation building. So it's the process. I think many people, going through the process of jury, I think We are very happy. Some of the people, they are doing 50 crores, next year 100 crores, next year 200 crores. Exponential. Yes, exponential growth. We have seen this. I think one of the things I will tell all the MSMEs, if you are not an exporter, become an exporter. If you are not embracing technology, embrace technology. Industry 4.0, IoT. I think otherwise, every country is doing. See, we should not lag behind. India should not lag behind. And it will be always helpful to you. And innovation, some R&D, even if a 10-member company have R&D, have quality control, I think this will lot many opportunities for Indian MSMEs.
Thank you, Mr. Purnaswamy. Thank you, Ms. Chatterjee. May I request you to take your seats? We're having a cold day in Delhi, but make no mistake, 2023 is set to be the hottest year on planet Earth since records began. Now, in a rapidly heating Earth, it cannot be business as usual for obvious reasons. Sustainability today is at the front and center of every conversation, and rightly so. Now, to delve into this question further, this question of sustainability, may I invite Neha Diwan, Assistant News Editor, ET Digital, to please come up onto stage. Neha.
Thank you, Suresh, and hope you all are having a wonderful evening today. We have two companies in the spotlight today for this chat, Aqua Agri Processing and Enlight. Let's take a look. Right, so let's dive straight into the topic of sustainability, which has assumed a lot more significance now in the face of climate change effects being seen the world over. Aspects such as carbon capture, alternative fuel, and energy efficiencies have now become an intrinsic part of boardroom conversations. And more organizations are keen to draw up strategies with sustainability right at the forefront. So without much further ado, let me invite the guests for this chat. We have Tanmay Seth, Director, Aqua Agri Processing, and Garima Bhardwaj, Co-founder, Enlight. Please join me in welcoming them. thanks both of you for being a part of this discussion and for being here. I'll start with you, Tanmay. We did see the audiovisual, but tell us more about aqua agri-processing and what it does.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Neha, for having me here. Aqua agri is, as the name might not explain itself, as it didn't to you. Aqua agri stands for agriculture in the ocean, or aqua agriculture. We started in 2008 with a singular goal to promote seaweed cultivation in India and create sustainable livelihoods for the coastal communities. We are proud to say that about 75% of our workforce comprises of women. We are born out of a CSR initiative which transformed into a sustainable enterprise. And now we process the seaweed into, again, sustainable products for agriculture, food processing, animal and human nutrition. And we're also working on bioplastics and biopolymer applications.
All right, and I would also at the same time like to bring you in. Garima and Light is about smart buildings and how they can contribute towards sustainability. But we'd like to hear it from you in your own words.
I'll take a little more time in explaining that, because a lot of times when I talk about it, what we're doing, I really have to delve into the problem statement. Why do we exist? So Enlight definitely exists for the goal of creating sustainable and decarbonized buildings. But let's talk about why do we need to do that. So all of us, the moment we step out of our houses, inevitably we end up stepping in one of the commercial real estate establishments, like all of us in this hotel right now. The airport nearby, it could be a hotel, hospital, mall, industry, factory. We are all from MSME, so we definitely know. Now this commercial real estate actually utilizes a lot of energy and ends up wasting about 30% of that energy, which accounts up to $60 billion annually wasted on energy. The average energy that the companies in US spent, the commercial real estate, could power about 7 years of energy requirements in Great Britain. And why does all of this happen? Because unlike a house where we're so mindful of turning off the electricity, turning off the water when we leave, it is not an individual's discretion to be doing the same in a commercial real estate, which means we need a system to run all the building operations in a commercial real estate, sort of a central nervous system, which is called a building management system. So what we have created is world's first wireless, cloud-native building management system, which is meant to serve each and every kind of a commercial real estate to run its building operations, which means anything requiring electricity will not be run by people and not be run by as people think it should, but by the machines that we have created. It is a full stack solution of wireless controllers and AI-enabled intelligence that we've created. The product is called Know Your Building. And today, I'm very proud to say that in last 1 year, we have implemented Know Your Building in about 13 million square feet of area in India, and we have been able to save around 2 billion kgs of GHG emissions.
Okay, those are some heavy stats out there. And so that is how Know Your Building is helping to contribute towards greener building, so to say. But you did speak about the saving part, of CAG that you mentioned. But what about India's energy bills? How can, these smart buildings help to save on India's energy bills?
First of all, we're at such a wonderful time and space right now, all of us. The MSME sector has seen the most growth and unprecedented urbanization that what we see. In fact, every day this year, 3 lakh square feet of new area in commercial real estate has gotten created. Great, the buildings are being created, but it also requires a lot of energy to run. And the problem here again is that not every building opts for a solution, a centralized solution like a building management system, because it's inherently a very expensive system. It was always meant to serve the larger kind of buildings, grade A buildings like these hotels. And the India's buildings which do not require or use BMS today is 90%, which is a lot of wastage. They utilize 65% of the total energy which a real estate uses. However, they still don't use any kind of a system. So it is essential that all the buildings, despite of the area that they have, whether it is a small retail outlet or whether it is a large mall, everything is centralized in its operation and every data point is digitized. The reason why we thought of something like a know your building was the inspiration was know your customer, how to mitigate risks, how to get all the data points around a person. Similarly is know your building. So know your building, when you log into the platform and you see, you are able to see what all the building has utilized, what it has wasted, how much money has been spent on running the building operations of a building, what does the forecast look like, because without all of that, it is very difficult that we speak about sustainability.
Right. At this point, I want to bring in Tanmay. We got to know from Garima about Know Your Building, which is like a real estate avatar of KYC. When we talk about seaweed, what are the kind of benefits that we can see as far as income to farmers are concerned? How can it benefit them?
I think I'll take a lead from where Garima said. I'll start with the energy component. So seaweed is a very interesting crop. It's grown in the ocean and it's cultivated like land agriculture, but it's accessible to people who don't own any land, who don't have resources. And amongst the rural community, the lowest income households are on our coasts. So this is a viable livelihood vocation for them. Seaweed is a wonder crop. It has various applications, but most the species we work on, which is Carpa ficus, when it's dried, 30% by weight is carbon dioxide. So it has 30% sequestration potential. We then make organic biostimulants for agriculture, which is, in simpler words, like an organic fertilizer. When that's used by farmers, it reduces chemical fertilizer usage by 25%. Now coming back to your specific question, so this is a livelihood opportunity for people who are landless, who are resourceless, who live along the coasts of India. And 75% of our workforce is women who earlier did not have any other opportunity of work besides supporting the husbands in fishing. So it lends itself to create an occupation for them. And as when women handle money, I think it's handled a lot better. They're more educated, they handle it in a more educated way. The savings go up by 90%. We've actually had this quantified by a study funded by FAO and done on the southern coast on the socio-economic dimensions of seaweed cultivation, where 1,200 families are engaged in this activity, and it's led to higher education, permanent houses, education, water, sanitation, everything. The entire, they have moved up in the economic grade by miles to where they were within 2 years.
But what about the challenges when it comes to production and processing?
The challenges we have is climate change. The seawater temperatures are going up, which is a reality. So that requires people like us and the government to educate people to now venture deeper in the ocean, which again requires a little more resources, like them having a boat or access to going deeper and creating deep sea infrastructure, which is being done. So those are climate change is a major challenge. And if I talk about India specifically, there has been some barriers from the Ministry of Environment, because there is a belief the species could be invasive, the species could cause damage to the ecosystem, but it has been also funded by the government and studied in detail and found to actually be beneficial for the environment. In fact, United Nations is promoting seaweed cultivation as one of the main activities for carbon sequestrations, and which helps realize the United Nations Sustainability Development Goals. Meets 7 out of the 17.
That's wonderful. Moving a step towards, understanding seaweed better in that sense. And Garima, taking off from what Tanmay was saying, there are obviously always challenges when it comes, when you talk about sustainability and environment. So when, sustainability is often perceived as a cost or costly, do you think that is the case?
You rightly have framed the question. It's always perceived as costly or costlier. I read somewhere that there'll be a point when people will stop perceiving the cost and price and really start seeing the value. And this was many years back. Of course, it didn't resonate with me at all back then. The reason was pretty simple because many years back, when there used to be hybrid cars, it was only the uber rich guys who could think of affording a hybrid car. And again, it's a thought. It's not really affording it or buying it. And things were not mainstream. So sustainability measures few years back, since they were not mainstream, you and I, if both of us do not buy it and Tanmay has not bought it, there is nobody to tell us. Now, if Tanmay buys it, he's going to probably tell us that, hey, I have a hybrid car or I put in a solar panel and, my electricity rates have dropped so much and so has my usage. So with so much of a less benchmarking to have against, that is what put the perceived value of sustainability measures very high. However, when you look at it today, the two examples, whether it is the EVs or whether it's the solar installations, they've become really commonplace. Like, it will be very hard to miss a green plate on a car anymore. Tata is doing phenomenally well right now when it comes to cars. And solar, I am so amazed to see. Very recently, we were at a tier 3 town for an audit. And I was surprised to see the number of households which had a solar panel installed. And they were the ones telling us, why should you have solar in the first place? They were talking all the numbers. Similarly, if you take EV now, you don't think of how much is it costing you today. You don't compare it against a Swift or a i20 anymore. You know that eventually you're going to be talking about that, this is what the electricity charges. Okay, you're paying so much for petrol, it's so high. EV is definitely much better. Because any sustainable measure, it definitely comes with an upfront cost, and I'm nobody to deny that. But the most important thing is that the total cost of ownership of a sustainable solution is always very low. And it only improves as you grow. We've seen it in buildings. There have been amazing buildings which have these old traditional BMSs. Every hotel, this hotel also has a very old BMS now. I know because we're auditing it. It stopped working after the 4th year, because it was a system which was meant to do the bare minimal, costed very less at that point in time. And it has been some 4-5 years that it's been non-operational today. Now, instead of that, if somebody had just put in a system which was capable of growing with the needs of automation, you can't determine the changes that you will have in your building. You can't say that, I am going to provision for today. You have to provision for the future. And that is what a sustainable technology helps you do. It helps you to build a better future because it always provides you a flexibility to go for the new. Earlier, I remember saying to somebody, since we're a 7-year-old organization, and I was just introducing our company 6 years back to some person, and that person is like, okay, this technology is very new. I'm not really sure about it. I would want to use it. So I said, everybody wants the new. Nobody wants it first. But today, we are seeing this change. People have realized the value that any sustainable solution provides for a long-term efficiency. At the same time, it secures a lot of your future of either a building or an asset, whatever you own.
It's quite far from the perception then that it is costly, as you're saying. Taking a cue from that, Tanmay, if we look at seaweed cultivation, and if we are to get serious and address the issues related to it, is there a bounty for the taking? Is there a sustainable future for seaweed farming?
Yeah, it's massive, in fact, because I think India is not on the map when it comes to seaweed cultivation. I mentioned a figure of about 1,200 families being engaged currently, and we've grown in quantum terms about 1,500 tons of seaweed in our best year, which was 2014. Since then, for reasons I won't get into right now, we haven't grown. But at the moment, we had someone from Indonesia as well. They're the largest producers of cultivated red algae in the world. They do about 1.5 million tons. Philippines does 500,000 tons. So does Malaysia, Tanzania. So India is not on the map. We have a 8,000 square kilometer coastline. Our wage rate expectation is lower than any of these countries. So in terms of a bounty, there's a huge bounty for the taking. In fact, it's a sector which is very, very nascent and has ability to grow. The government has also recognized it. There was an allocation last year of 650 crores under the budget to promote seaweed cultivation in India. But there are some barriers which need to be tackled, but it's a sector which is futuristic and it's waiting to explode, and I'm sure will be on the map in the near future.
Right. And Garima, lastly, I mean, I'll put the last question to you, that we spoke about sustainability and the measures, how it is perceived. So, since you are into the running of small and medium-sized infrastructures, what are some of the challenges which comes in that as far as sustainability is concerned?
Any traditional system that was created for managing building operations, I will go by the building sustainability right now, was never created for the 90% of the buildings. That's the small and mid-sized building. The reason was very simple. Any system which centralizes these operations or a BMS is a very expensive affair. Make it for grade A buildings. Grade A buildings is anything which is 10 lakh square feet of an area or more, because they have the propensity to pay. The more hardware that they use, the more that they pay, and that is how all the traditional BMS companies which are based out of US and Europe have made money. So the map never comprised of the 90%, because why sustainability if you could make money? And that is why when you know as a small building owner that nothing exists for me, you're not going to opt for anything at all. And all you're going to say is that I'll keep 2 people. I still want to know who are these 2 people in every building that they know. Main 2 log rakhega. That's how it's been happening. So that is what has created a mindset of that there is nothing that exists. There are no options, whatever it is. It's very expensive. It's very costly. Doesn't suit me. I really don't care. Tenants will come and see what do they want. So a lack of interest, option, awareness, and definitely the ROI that never made sense always kept the 90% of the market absolutely out of any radar of the sustainability measures.
Yeah, awareness, that's where things start and end, and that's what has to be created, right? We are completely out of time, but thanks a lot for joining in from seaweed to smart buildings and sustainability. It all tells us that, how sustainability can mean good business and is good business. Thanks a lot for joining us. Thank you.
Thanks, Neha.
Thank you.
Over to you, Suresh.
Thank you, Neha. Thank you, panelists, for the enlightening discussion on sustainability. We'll just give my colleagues a couple of minutes to clear the stage before we move on to the next award. To give away the next set of awards, may I invite on stage Ms. Malena Rojas Medina, Secretary of Press and Cultural Affairs, Republic of Cuba in India. Ms. Rojas. And to join Ms. Rojas, may I invite Mr. Vikas Singh Chauhan, Director, Home Textile Exporters Welfare Association. Our next award category is the Global Indian MSME of the Year, Manufacturing, and here are the nominees. Any guesses for who's the winner? Guesses? Except the actual winner, anybody else? Guesses? All right, this award category has been introduced to recognize MSMEs from across India that demonstrate global competitiveness and have successfully expanded their business at the international level. The winner of the Global Indian MSME of the Year Manufacturing is Sudeep Pharma Private Limited. May I invite the top management of Sudeep Pharma onto stage. What's the secret of success in the pharma biz?
So I'll just mention our tagline, that is, think different, make difference. So that is what is the success mantra for us. And also fortunate for being in the pharma industry, and unfortunate for all of us because of pandemic. We, being in the pharma industry, were able to capitalize and take our business to the global level. And that is, I would say, success mantra for us. Thank you.
Always be ready to take advantage of opportunities is the mantra for success. Congratulations, Sudeep Pharma. Our next category is Global Indian MSME of the Year Service, and here are the nominees. Right, India has witnessed a rise of a strong entrepreneurial wave due to increased global demand for automation, digitalization, and integration of latest technologies, such as AI and analytics. With its ability to scale and serve customers in different international markets, the winner of the Global Indian MSME of the Year service is Molchem Chemicals Private Limited. May I invite the management of Molchem onto stage. So you're in the business of chemicals, right? You know a lot about chemistry.
Yes.
Right. What's the secret to good chemistry between spouses?
Wow, I think that's the most difficult question to answer. But apparently our tagline is the chemistry of business, which basically means not just being in the business of, not just being in the business of chemistry, but the chemistry that we have within our team members, our customers, and our stakeholders. So Molchem is a very young company. We are 9 years old since the inception. Today, 15% of our team is international. We have ventured into unconventional markets like South America, Brazil, Colombia, Argentina, Ecuador, Mexico, and so on. So that's what the USP has been for us, being in the unconventional markets. Coming back to your question, I think it's a difficult one for me to answer. But I think chemistry between these spouses is important to business, since my wife is also part of the business, and we share the chemistry in the office and outside as well. So thank you for having this platform. I think it's a testament for our team, young team that we have, and also for our testament of our services to our customers as well. Thank you so much.
Congratulations once again. Right, that's Molchem for you. Our next award category is India's Top Exporter of the Year, Manufacturing, and here are the nominees. Now, Make in India, Make for the World has been the call to action by the government for all businesses involved in the manufacturing sector. Indian MSMEs are driving exports as our products find their way to every nook and corner of the globe. The winner of this year's India's Top Exporter of the Year Manufacturing is Aeroflex Industries. May I invite the leadership of Aeroflex? Sir, you can't leave stage without answering a quick question. Do you have young children? Do you know what a flex is? Flex your muscle? You don't have muscles. But if you talk to millennials and Gen Zs, a flex is what is called a subtle show-off. You want to brag, but you also want to be humble at the same time. What is your biggest flex as a company?
Well, as a company, as our tagline goes, commitment to excellence. So that's what we believe in, and that's the reason we have presence in 80 countries. We're exporting to 80 countries. Yes.
That's a significant achievement.
Absolutely. And we're looking to grow. Yeah. Thank you.
Congratulations on your flex, sir. All right. Coming up next is the award for Top Exporter of the Year Service, and here are the nominees. Now, it's not just merchandise exports that have been making waves across the globe. Services catering to global companies have also had a remarkable run. The next award looks to recognize one such company. The winner of India's Top Exporter of their Service is Jinkushal Industries Private Limited. May I invite the top leadership of Jinkushal Industries onto stage. What's the secret behind the name Jinkushal?
Well, Jinkushal is the name of one of our Guru Maharaj. We are followers of Jainism, and it's been the name. And one of the things that we come from the Rajasthan area, which has been the desert area, and a lot of Marwari people, I believe, I see a lot of Marwari people over here as well, come from there. Yes. So adaptability and agility and moving around, not just the country and the globe, that has been the success of Marwari people. And I believe us as exporters and doing business in 30, 35 plus countries is all about that, and all originated from our Marwari roots.
All right, congratulations, Jinkushal. Presenters, we need you on stage for just a few minutes more. I promise we'll send you off. Right, our next award category is Indian MSME of the Year Service, and here are the nominees. Now, this award applauds the overall performance of the enterprise with regards to business growth, market performance, impact on consumer and economy, such as jobs created, and other socio-economic benefits and initiatives. And the winner of the Indian MSME of the Year is, for services, is K-Solves India Limited. Loud round of applause, please. May I invite the top management of K-Solves onto stage. K-Solves.
Actually, 12 years before I have started this company, and 3.5 years before I made this company public. Okay, so I think that every day I solve the problems, not only the employees, investors also. So every day is a new challenge, and I feel that every day is a new beginning also. So thank you.
Solving hard problems every day. That's the key to winning an award. All right, congratulations, K-Solves. The next award category is Indian MSME of the Year Manufacturing, and here are the nominees. The Indian MSME of the Year award, along with overall performance, is also a recognition in the field of quality and organizational best practices. These companies provide a glimpse of what sustainable growth and success looks like. The winner of the Indian MSME of the Year Manufacturing is Metalwork Industries Limited. May I invite the top leadership from Metalwork Industries, please. Congratulations, Metalwork. What metal are you made of?
I live in the steel town of Jamshedpur, so I think some of that, some of that might have worked itself in.
And steel obviously doesn't rust, correct?
Well, no, stainless steel. But we are in the ferrous metal business, and we are supplying to OEMs in India and across the world. And I think by God's grace, we're on the right path and the right place at the right time.
So modesty is your superpower. All right, congratulations once again, sir. All right, before we let the two of you go off stage, I'm going to ask you a quick question. What's the one thing, Vikas, that you've noticed common to all the winners today?
I'm very happy and very proud to see that our MSME sectors are growing and they are doing very good. Recently we were in US and now everyone was talking about India. One thing I must say that next 20 years belongs to Indian MSMEs, for sure. This is what I am looking forward. So next 20 years, my final line is next 20 years belong to Indian MSMEs. This is what I want to say.
Thank you for that message. Ms. Rojas, your favorite food in Delhi?
I have a lot of favorite food. Just I want to say thank you so much for the invitation. I see a lot of opportunity of business with Cuba, and I would like to invite you to visit our embassy and discuss the opportunity of business with our commercial office. Please, thank you so much.
Thank you both. Thank you both for giving away these awards. Right, it's now time for the next spotlight session. I'm just going to give my colleagues a little time to bring out the chairs onto stage. May I request for the chairs to come onto stage? Right, it's time now for the second MSME Spotlight Showcase for the night. The theme for the Spotlight session is the way ahead for India's high-tech industry. May I first invite our moderator, Pranbihanga Borpuzari, Associate Editor, ET Digital, to take over proceedings. Pran, can we have you on stage? To join Pran on stage, may I invite Girish Mudgal, co-founder, Time Tools Technologies, and Rohit Grover, CEO, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, Aerostrovilos Energy. Can we have you on stage?
Right. So, cracker of two companies that we have today. And before we start, we have a short AV on both of them so that you get a flavor of what they are doing. Can we have the AVs, please? Can we have the next EV?
Developed micro gas turbine.
While gas turbines have traditionally been used as jet engines, when it comes to other applications like running cars or generators, they have been impractical and expensive. Even when in theory, gas turbines offer more efficiency and are fuel independent.
There are now materials that is much more cheaper than the methods, manufacturing methods, which are so cost effective, and the advancement like 3D printing can make small gas turbines possible today in this world. Our system is derived from the aircraft engine and is going to be extremely reliable, and the maintenance or the service cost will be close to zero, and this will augment extremely cheap power for the end user.
So, India, which has the 6th most patent application numbers in the world in 2021, but had a share of 10.21% in high-tech exports as a percentage of manufacturing. By contrast, Israel, which falls 19th in the patent list, boasts of 30% share in the same category. This proves that while we have the pedigree, we are not doing enough to commercialize it. So, on stage today, I would request Girish Mudgal, co-founder Time Truth, and Rohit Grover, CEO Aerostovilos, to join me on stage, please. Rohit and Girish. Great. So, Girish, let me come to you first. We did see what you do, but tell me in detail, what is it that you're up to?
Hello? Yeah. Yeah, firstly, thanks a lot for this opportunity. It's a pleasure to be a part of this gathering, and to be frank, an honor as well. Okay, what we do, I think a little bit you got a glimpse. So, Time Truth provides basically impactful engineering solutions for sectors like aerospace, defense, and the medical industries. So, essentially, products and services which are mission critical is what we offer for our customers, and essentially that leads to intense R&D and innovation. So, the mission that you saw there was for the ISRO program of the reusable launch vehicle. The program essentially, so firstly again, of course, we are grateful to ISRO for providing us the opportunity to work on that program. But just to give you an idea what that program entails, can give you an idea of what we do. Essentially is that ISRO is trying the ambitious project of launching satellites and essentially reusing that same vehicle by recovering the vehicle, by re-entering the Earth's atmosphere and landing on an airstrip autonomously, and then subsequently reusing the same vehicle for subsequent launches. So, as we know, ISRO knows a lot about sending things out to space, but the thing that was challenging in this program was basically to bring it back on ground and land effectively, and that is the part that we contributed. Essentially, the entire undercarriage of the drone, which is the landing system of this program, is what we delivered in this case. So along with that example, I might just share a few more examples. So we have worked on mission critical programs of national interest, which includes interesting technologies like missile launchers. We have developed essentially mine protected vehicle seats. We have developed suspensions for combat vehicles. We have developed robots. We are currently working with the Indian Army for the next generation soldier wearing an exoskeleton and enhancing the performance of the next generation soldier. So those are the kind of very niche, specialized, high performance engineering products and services that we deliver. Thank you.
Wow, that sounds wonderful. I mean, going to space is easier than coming back. Okay. Rohit, What is it that you are up to?
Yeah. So I think just before you enter the space, we are in that range building those engines, right? So yeah, I mean, my background is actually in aerospace engineering, and so what we are building is we're taking an aerospace engine, what we call as gas turbine or aircraft engine, and we are making it smaller, putting it in trucks. You might ask me, why trucks? Why do you want to put an aircraft engine over there, right? So the thing is, we talk about electrification. I think there was a session a few minutes back on sustainability. Trucks only form 4% of our traffic, but make 40% of the pollution of the traffic. So if we have to really electrify or decarbonize the mobility, I think truck is one of the important part. And there's no solution that exists today. We obviously, talk about electrification. We have batteries going into, two-wheelers, four-wheelers. So when you talk about trucks, heavy-duty trucks, the ones that are moving our country, I would say, in a $5 trillion, country, it's about 18% logistics, right? So yeah, so decarbonizing that is what we are doing. And essentially, there's no solution because battery is going to be too heavy to put on a truck. You can't carry the payload. Then obviously anything to do with hydrogen or something is just not going to be there so fast. And obviously the cost of, something like a fuel cell. So I think gas turbine is something that has been there, but it has again been so expensive that you only see it in, aircraft engines or, bigger power plants, the mammoth power plants of a few hundreds of megawatts. So we decided, that why can't this technology be made affordable? It's been there for 70 years, and it has been proven. It has proven its reliability. It's proven its, uptime. That's unmatchable. I mean, it's literally like a rocket running in an aircraft, but a sober rocket running for lot more time. So essentially, yeah, bringing that cost down and making it affordable for a trucking. We are talking about, being a Tesla of gas turbine and trucks.
Tesla of gas turbine. Both you guys are flying high. But Girish, coming back to you, how did this ISRO deal work out? How difficult was it? What did it entail?
Yeah, so it's a serious technical challenge, of course, and as well as a commercial challenge, managing such projects because they entail technical risks as well as, business risks, right? So just to give you an idea of the technical risks, even though without being too technical about it, basically, the challenge here is to land a winged body. A winged body essentially is not a UAV or a drone. The difference being that there is no propulsion on that body. It is just dropped under gravity. You can imagine just falling under gravity. The challenge there is to control that body effectively to land on a precise location, right? So essentially converting the kinetic energy vertically into a horizontal speed. So the technical challenges are high speed landing. We are proud to share that this is the highest speed landing recorded on Indian soil, be it civil or military, manned or unmanned aircraft on Indian ground, right?
I think that deserves an applause, please. 350 kilometers per hour?
350 kilometers per hour. That's the rate at which it lands. And our job there, of course, again, kudos to ISRO. Let's have a round of applause for ISRO. Their job was essentially to control it effectively to bring it, horizontal close to the ground. And then the takeover happens with our system where we have to absorb that shock and effectively brake the system and steer and control the platform. So there is a huge technical challenge. These are all, so one of the challenge here is, to communicate that this is never done before, right? So when we have to venture into such a project, there are serious technical uncertainties. As you can understand, all the stakeholders involved, be it customers, vendors, investors, engineers, all of them work under uncertainty, right? So that's a huge factor. And but in spite of that, what it gives, when it works, is what we call, engineers high. Some of you have heard about maybe runner's high or a sportsman's high, when they win championships. But that's what we feel, when we are part of such missions and these missions are successful. That's the kind of high that we get. And of course, at that point, we also essentially get the monetary rewards for the program. So it's both challenging, both technically as well as from a business standpoint.
Right. So we had a winner from Jamshedpur just now. The landing gear is not made of steel, is it? What is it made of?
The landing gear is made of various materials, so these are very special purpose alloys. Some of it is steel alloys, some of it is aluminum alloys, some of it is phosphor bronze, and there are some PTFE things as well.
Right. Back to you. Why gas turbine? Why do you choose this particular, equipment, and what are the various applications?
Right. So I think the first thing that the reason why I chose this, so it's not there in India, first of all. I mean, there are various, central and government bodies have tried making one. I think having our own gas turbine is first of all an epitome of having a developed country. So there are only 4 or 5 countries in the world which have that technology, and we are buying them, unfortunately. So I mean, that was the, like one such reason. But obviously, as a startup, as a company, you can't just do that, right? So there has to be a business case that has to be built. So we didn't want to immediately target those kinds of markets. So we wanted to build a small engine. So it was boiling down. Yes, I mean, I had worked on one similar component during my graduation days at my professor's lab at IIT Madras. So yeah, I built a fascination that, hey, we want to build this. And essentially, my other co-founder wanted to build the exact same thing 10 years before me. And my professor shooed him away, hey, this is not the right time and stuff like that. So coming back to, we essentially then realized that we wanted to democratize this technology where it is only with handful of companies. And the reason it is that way is because it requires high-end materials which has to withstand high temperatures. And so we decided, hey, can we bring those temperatures down and still not reduce the performance, and maybe use more commonplace materials, the alloys that he mentioned, like steel alloys, high-end alloys, but like automotive engine, so that you can democratize this technology. And essentially, I mean, trucking is where there is a need. I mean, actually, if start looking at decarbonizing, we start, as I was just picking up from where I left, 2-wheelers, 3-wheelers, 4-wheelers. Then when you start with trucks, right, that is where the problem of the battery density really begins to hamper the payload that it can carry, the number of people it can carry. And as you go all the way up to the aviation, I mean, yeah, we have flown planes with solar, but they can only carry the pilot, or not even a pilot in some cases. So how do you do that? So gas turbines have been there for ages. And again, so my professor was running a big combustion center. There was an IP that he had developed, which obviously he tried giving it to a few of those big engine OEMs. And so I would say it's just fairy tale story where somebody wanted to build the same thing 10 years back. I wanted to build it 10 years later, and he was in the middle of it, doing something that no big engine company were taking it. So he said, okay, fine, let's just,
So just a hypothetical question, maybe in 5 years, 10 years from now, a lot of MSMEs in this room, can any of them find a useful application for what you're developing?
So basically, trucking is one where, in real sense, what we would call as opening up a new market for this. So if you say there are existing markets where in a big heavy industry, right? Again, over there, I mean, they have big, gen sets which are a few hundreds of kilowatts or megawatt. Or you can't just replace everything with a battery and solar. I think you can do that maybe, 20, 30 years down the line. And with India's, needs of power, and there is a lot of power that gets lost in distribution. So you have a lot of peak shaving and a lot of other, I would say land-based applications. So essentially we are targeting, in real sense, we are actually bringing those engines down to the ground and making them viable.
Interesting. So gensets, I think powering industries is a major focus, and I think gensets can be one. Let's get to R&D. I have some figures here that, R&D investment in India has dropped from 0.8% of GDP in 2008-9 to 0.7% in 2017-18. Not doing too well in R&D. What is it for your company?
Yeah, in fact, you've touched a nerve there. That's something, again, it's something that I would like to share in this forum, is that there's, I read somewhere by one of a good Indian entrepreneur that Make in India, as we all talk about, is predominantly defined as assembled in India and sold in rupees. I repeat, assembled in India and sold in rupees. Is that what we really want Make in India to be? And this is where the difference about this question about R&D comes in. And as recently as just 2015, we as a country were able to define something, a term called IDDM, Indigenous Design, Development and Manufacturing, right? So Make in India is a very small subset. Of course, people use it loosely, but one of the key components missing in that spirit, partially missing, at least as a mass. Of course, there are some very good shining.
One of the few grants that we got were also because we were part of this IITM. And obviously, when IITM got that success, IITM incubation started, I would say close to 15, 20 years back. And back then it was just, beginning. And then Professor Junjunwala, who's, really well known of, making it really successful. There have been many success stories. I mean, there is Aether and Agnikul, who have come out of this. So I think deep tech actually requires a lot more academia support, and I think premier institutions like IITs and the top IITs are really doing well, and I think I'm lucky that I was able to get to IIT Madras.
Wonderful. I think we're running out of time, so I'll merge two questions in this. Do we have enough incentives for the sector? And the sector also needs patient capital. Is that available?
Uh, I would say we have been in this business for over a decade, and I would have had a little more hair, if the incentives were already there. So to be frank, it's the only positive thing, if I have to say, is the slope is positive, so it's improving, but it's way, way, way behind. Of course, investors are traditionally, not capable of handicapping businesses in these, R&D intensive industries like defense and aerospace. And the word patience is something that nobody has. It's always an opportunity cost. If I invest in a high-flying e-commerce sector, it's a one-cell business. It doesn't matter whether the business makes money or not, as long as the next investor buys it, right? But in R&D intensive things, the patient capital is really missing, is significantly lacking. There are a few schemes and things that are opening up. In fact, earlier we used to also feel that there is only a rhetoric of, things, but recently there have been some good initiatives by the government as well, and something like the Technology Development Fund. So we have been one of the recipients of a very prestigious grant for the military exoskeleton project, as I said. And there is some serious steps that are being taken, but all I can say, it is a long, long, long way away. And investors obviously need to play a different game. The game here is not obviously the 10x in 1 year and exit. It is more like 50x in 5 years or 10 years, and then it is a rock solid business that is long term, poised for growth and sustainable, development. So that is the kind of patient capital that is required, and I wish that that increases. Yes.
Rohit, same question to you.
I'm sorry.
So the question being that do you have enough incentives in place, and also do you have the patient capital that you need to succeed?
Yeah, so I think just carry forwarding from where I left on the last answer. So, being part of that IIT Madras has actually brought some of that access to us, opened the doors. So I mean, it's not what you can expect from a US or a UK startup ecosystem, but I think things started to change just around 2016-17 when I was starting the company. So there is availability, yes. So there were some government grants, hefty amounts that would come, compared to what it would be available 10 years back. But okay, it's not enough for us anyway. But coming back to the point, I think there has been a lot of, I mean, we had the recent deep tech investment policy which came out a few months back. So I think, yeah, slowly and steadily, the startup world is actually awakening to it. So being a startup actually helps us get some of those investors who can buy into this kind of a story. And I think there are a lot of comparison, even if you are investing in a deep tech company. I mean, what is a deep tech company at the end of the day? A deep tech company is something that will not make you money, but there are some technical milestones which will have a strong validation from a big customer, 1 or 2 customers maybe, and then I think that is what maybe 2 years, 3 years down the line you will not make money, but I think the moment you get there, I think it's just, you will get there. So I think many investors in India, and many of them are not able to assess those risks because I think they are used to perhaps a subscription model or revenue, that there has to be some revenue. But I think there are a few of those deep tech investors that, again, we are in touch with, who understand how to assess a deep tech company which is making technical products that has a different kind of significance. So for example, in e-mobility or, in space tech, those kind of startups will not make money for 3 years. Neither are we. So, for the first 3-4 years, right? So, yeah.
Wonderful. I think from the road to the space, there is high tech and deep tech in a lot of sectors of SMEs. And it's heartening to see that, I talked about the grit and determination in my speech. And I think it's heartening to see that both of you are actually slogging it out. Great. Thank you so much. And real pleasure. All the best.
Thanks. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pran, and thank you, panelists, for that illuminating discussion. I'm just going to give my colleagues a few seconds to clear the stage before we move on to our next set of awards for the evening. I'd like to welcome to this August gathering Dr. Ajay Sahai, Director General and CEO of Federation of Indian Export Organizations. Dr. Sahai, welcome. I'm going to invite you on stage shortly. Our next category is India's fastest growing MSME Micro, and here are the nominees. To give away this and the next few awards, may I call on stage Dr. Ajay Sahai, Director General and CEO of FIEO. Dr. Sahai. Now this award recognizes and celebrates the success. Thank you ladies and gentlemen. This award recognizes and celebrates the success of a micro business that has registered the fastest growth over the past year. A business that has shown tremendous penetration in market in terms of financial growth and consumer recognition. The winner of India's fastest growing MSME Micro is Sam & Marshall. May I invite the leadership team of Sam & Marshall to come on stage. The I-buy business, no? So most business need a good sense of vision. Your business needs literal vision. How do you pull that off, literal and metaphorically?
It was a little bit of task, but we pulled it off. And thank you, ET, for giving this award. Because we have really worked hard from the last 4 years. And yeah, we have grown by 100% plus year on year. So yeah, all thanks to performance marketing. Thank you.
All thanks to performance marketing. Good endorsement for all the digital advertisers in the audience. Right, let's move on to our next award category, India's fastest growing MSME Small. And here are the nominees. Now, throughout the challenging economic landscape of recent years, COVID included, small businesses especially have witnessed diverse trajectories. Some companies encountered hurdles, others flourished, and some experienced unprecedented growth. The award for India's fastest growing MSME Small goes to Systango Technologies Limited. May I invite the leadership of Systango onto stage. You know, there's a saying that says it takes two to tango, right? So who do you tango with?
With our team members, definitely. That is why we are the fastest growing MSME organization.
Right, that's the secret of success, tango with your employees. Congratulations, Systango. Dr. Sahai, we need you on stage for just a little bit longer. Right, that brings up our next award, India's fastest growing MSME Medium, and here are the nominees. Now, fast-growing businesses across segments have some things in common. They are hungry for progress. May I request you to close that door to avoid the noise from outside? They believe that their time is now, they invest for tomorrow, and they accelerate rapidly. To complete our list, the winner of India's fastest-growing MSME Medium is PM Relocations Private Limited. May I invite the leadership of PM Relocations. So you're in the business of relocations. Now, it's no big secret that ease of doing business index, India is not very high on the list, right? Let's be honest. We're getting there, but we're not there. If you could relocate your business to any country in the world, which country would you relocate to?
Honestly, the world is moving to India. So I'm sorry, we have to stay in India for making it the best in the world.
See, that was a trick question, and that's the correct answer. Congratulations, PM Relocations. Right, coming up next, I'm going to invite Dr. Sahai to say a few words. He will speak on the theme of Aspire, Achieve and Advance, shaping the next decade of Indian exports. Dr. Sahai, if we can have a few words from you.
Good evening, everyone. Let me first thank ET for giving me this wonderful opportunity to speak to such an audience. We are very proud that MSMEs have made India the 5th largest economy, and we are now aiming to be the 3rd largest economy, bypassing both Japan and Germany by 2030. We are not an export-centric economy like Southeast Asian economy, yet for India, export is playing a very transformational role. In fact, both in financial year 2021-22 and 2022-23, export contributed to over 50% of the incremental GDP growth. In fact, if you look at the book of Adam Smith, he wrote in 1776 that export is the real income of the country, as rest of the goods and services are consumed by the country. Exports leads to prosperity can be seen in the economic growth of Southeast Asian countries, and Bangladesh is the recent example where they have uplifted millions of people below the poverty line through the sheer exports only. And in fact, now the Prime Minister has also said that if India has to transit from a developing to developed economy, export has to play a key role into that. We have already clocked $450 billion of merchandise exports and $329 billion of service exports in the last fiscal. But now we are aiming big. We want to take both goods and services export to $1 trillion by 2030. And let me assure you, I think we will reach that figure much before. We are, of course, looking some structural issues in the exports also, and my basic problem lies with the manufacturing sector. We are not seeing consistent growth in manufacturing. You will have the GDP number which has come just now, which shows that manufacturing growth at 13.2%, but then there will be occasional dips also. I think if we want to sustain export, we have to bring manufacturing on track, and therefore all issues relating to uncompetitive manufacturing needs to be addressed. Let me quote from the Boston Consulting Group report, which says that India is the 2nd most competitive country in manufacturing so far costs within the factory are concerned. We are outpriced because of the factors which are outside the factory, and there the government has a big role to play. We are aware of the cost disability factor of the economy, and that's why the government has rolled out production-linked incentive in 15 critical sectors. Initially, it was only confined to high technology sector, but over a period of time, we have extended it to some of the labor-intensive sectors also, like food processing and technical textile and man-made textile, because we want to move ahead into those sectors also. When I'm looking into exports, my basic problem is what we call a problem of 70s to 30 as against 30s to 70. 70% of my exports are targeted to a segment which just contribute to 30% of the global imports. Whereas 30% of my export is towards a segment which contribute to 70% of the global imports. Today, global import is dominated by technology. Machinery, electrical and electronics, automobile and auto component, they put together contribute to roughly 35% of the global import to the size of around $7 trillion. In this segment, my share is 0.8%. My overall share in goods and services exports put together is around 2.5. The good thing is that through PLI scheme, we are also addressing all the 3 segments, which will not only help us to create manufacturing base into the country to support exports, but it will also help us to stem the imports. We may be importing over $100 billion of these goods into the country right now. The second is basically the problem, I think, which was discussed in the previous panel also, is high technology exports. The share of high technology exports in India's export is just 7%. And the total export is to the tune of around $30 billion. Look into the countries like Singapore, they're exporting high technology goods around $175 billion, South Korea to the tune of $250, and China over $700 billion. I think this is a segment where we have to move in. We have golden opportunity coming in our way through the realignment of the global value chain. US is making very conscious effort to bypass China, and if any country can chip in for China, it is India. We have the wherewithal, we have the capability, we have the resources, but it's $1 million question whether we will occupy that space or not. But the government is keen to provide an ecosystem, and Indian entrepreneurs are there to chip in to occupy the space. Let me also admit that China, by choice, is also exiting many of the labor-intensive sectors, but they are purposely moving to high technology. And there is a huge space which is being created. But the unfortunate part is that in the employment-intensive sectors of exports, except in agriculture and food processing, we are constantly losing share in exports. Let me just give some example. The global trade in knitted apparel is growing by around 6%. Our exports are growing at 2%. Between 2019 to 2022, India added just $200 million to its knitted apparel exports. In the same period, Bangladesh added $10 billion. In the woven sector, my growth rate is 1%, Bangladesh growth rate is 6%, Vietnam export growth is 4%. In leather sector, global trade is improving by 5% on a compound annual growth basis. My export is contracting. Bangladesh is emerging as a new competitor for India in the footwear sector. In 3 years, Bangladesh has added around $800 million to its export. We have added just $200 million. And therefore, I think we have to look into the entire gamut of employment-intensive sector. I am a great supporter of that for two reasons. A, they provide me very high net value addition, and B, they create huge numbers of jobs. There are issues in exports also, and that's why I think the entrepreneur has to focus on innovation and R&D. I also feel that government has to come forward and support R&D. Globally, R&D has been incentivized. It's an uncertain territory, and this has a huge gestation period. Countries are providing 300% tax deduction, 350% tax deduction. In India, for R&D, there was a tax deduction of 200%, which has come down to 100%. That means as good as a business expense. We need to increase the flow to the R&D, and probably the government has come forward to support the R&D sector. To provide better market access to export sector, government is looking into a very aggressive export strategy in respect of FTAs. One of the criticism of the earlier FTA regime was the fact that it has led to huge import as compared to exports. But I think those who have negotiated the FTA should have been conscious of the fact we have gone for the FTA with the countries which were very strong in manufacturing, maybe the Southeast Asian country, Japan, South Korea, and therefore results were quite obvious. Now we are engaging with the countries who are complementary economies, and they are all large export destinations. We have formed up one with UAE and Australia, where we are purposely providing concession on raw material and intermediate imports and getting market access for our exports. We will be probably forming up one with UK, maybe before April, and government is engaged with many other countries, including the European Union and GCC. Unfortunately, with Canada, the talks are on the backtrack now, and so is with the Israel. Government is committed to provide an enabling and conducive environment for exports and even for MSME to thrive in. The opportunities are there, but let me also highlight two important challenges, and both are interrelated one. We are seeing high protectionism in the world. In fact, Global Trade Analyst, one of the magazine, has highlighted that a decade before, there were only 9,000 protectionist measures in place. Today, there are 35,000. That means in 10 years' time, we have added 26,000 protectionist measures. Secondly, non-trade issues are going to determine the course of the global trade. It will be environment and labor. And that's why I think we have to focus on both. Wages, working condition for workers, working hours, all are going to play a very important role when it comes to the global supply chain. Let me also add that the entire world is looking towards a sustainable and diverse supply chain. India is definitely there. India is a place where supply chain can be flexed when stressed. They are insulated from economic shocks or geopolitical uncertainty. They are safe and secure in the long run also. We have tremendous opportunity waiting for us, and I'm pretty sure the entrepreneurs who are here will have that to happen. Let me last highlight the importance of the e-commerce retail exports also, because digital trade is growing in India. In fact, in export sector, I'm looking into a multiplier of 10x in 3 years. My total e-commerce export was around $25 billion. I'm taking it to $250 billion in next 3 years. A lot of regulatory issues have been addressed. Government has come with the e-commerce hub scheme, where they want to bring all the agencies involved in the e-commerce under one umbrella, be it tax authorities, be it the bank, fintech company, postal authorities, courier terminal, all will be located at one place so that e-commerce player can be provided all support in one go. Please bear in mind that in India we have the best of the product and the services, but probably my small businesses, women entrepreneurs, they neither have the financial resources nor the marketing skill to tap the potential. E-commerce provide a ready-made answer for that. E-commerce has helped number of companies to start on the platform and move to the conventional board. We are looking for those opportunities. We have huge opportunities in the services sector. We have only talked about IT and IT-enabled services where we're doing extremely well. But if you are looking into the financial services, like audit and accounting, our businesses are going. In the transport sector, we are now earning around $25 billion, but of course, we are also spending over $100 billion as transport services, freight costs, because we hardly have an Indian shipping line of the global repute. We are engaged with the government to develop an Indian shipping line so that we can save around $25 to $30 billion year on year. We are doing extremely well in tourism sector, though of course after 2019 it has taken a hit, but I'm sure that very soon we will have the inflows from the tourism increasing in the country like India. So the country has a tremendous potential, and I'm pretty sure all the MSMEs who are present here will help us to realize the potential. So thank you very much, thank you very much.
Dr. Sahai, before you leave, one quick question for you. We've asked questions to everybody else. Now, you're a senior veteran of the industry. If you were a young startup entrepreneur, you had a micro industry or a small industry, and you wanted to export your goods, what would be your number one priority?
My number one priority will be I should be aware of the product which I'm exporting. A lot of companies comes to me and they ask me, what should I export? Where should I export? I said that the product has to be identified by you, and your product should have a USP. Because please bear in mind, when you are entering into exports, you are going to replace some supplier. So unless you have a USP in your product, you have a very dim chances. The rest thing can be taken care by organization like us or the government or any agency. But I think it's a product which will determine your fate, and that should be decided by you.
And the USP cannot be low cost just because it's Indian anymore. So what's a good USP and what's a bad USP?
No, I think USP has to be unique one. Let me just give you an example. We have an e-commerce player, a smart lady. She started exporting garments, and what she did, she said that I will be exporting garment for the mother, for the daughter, and for the grandmother. So that's the way she adopted, and she has developed a brand of that. Now, whatever she is exporting, it's a set of three. For the daughter, for the mother, and for the grandmother.
That's the innovation.
That's the innovation.
Thank you for your insights, Dr. Sahai. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Ajay Sahai. With that, let's move on to the next set of awards for the evening. To present these awards, May I invite on stage Nidhi Basin, CEO, NASCOM Foundation, and Mr. Ponnuswamy M., Founder and MD, Ponpure Chemicals Group, and Chairman, CII, MSME National Council, and Jury Member, ET MSME Awards. The next award category is the Indian MSME Enabler Award, Tech and Innovation, and here are the nominees. So as you can see, these are not SMEs themselves, but they enable MSMEs to do business. The Enabler Awards category focuses on various areas where MSMEs need support, such as tech and innovation, banking and finance, and business growth. The winner for the MSME Enabler for Tech and Innovation is IndiaMart Intermesh Limited. May I call the top leadership of IndiaMart Intermesh to come onto stage. Applause is getting a little low. I know dinner is coming, so keep the applause going. Sound check, yeah. So we know a lot of things that the SMEs and the MSMEs are doing right. But you see a lot of MSMEs. What is their one biggest blind spot? A little criticism is required also today. You can't be all rah-rah all the time.
It's a tough question to answer.
I'm sure you know the answer.
It's a tough question to answer. See, it will not generally be the same for everybody, okay? For an MSME to grow, at least we believe they need 4 things. They need a market, they need a business, a market as a business. They need technology. I hope and believe that MSMEs are adopting the technology faster. They could adopt it faster. They need people and they need the financiers. So it's about are they getting all the 4 things right is what I will be focused upon. At IndiaMart, we offer 3 of these solutions to SMEs, MSMEs. Roughly about 77 lakh businesses across the country are on our platform using these services to grow faster, to grow better, to grow easier. That's what we are happy about.
All right, a diplomatic answer. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Congrats, IndiaMart Intermesh. We need you to stay on stage for a little while longer. Our next award category is the Indian MSME Enabler Award for Banking and Finance, and here are the nominees. There's a lot of nominees there because a lot of SMEs and a vibrant Indian banking and fintech sector. The Indian MSME Enabler Award for Banking and Financing category celebrates an enterprise focused on enabling MSMEs with their banking and financing needs. And the winner in this category is 197 Paytm Limited. May I invite the leadership from 197 Paytm onto stage. Right, so we know the popularity of Paytm when it comes to the B2C business, Paytm Karo and all that. What is the secret of the success in the B2B side of the business? Paytm nahi karenge to kya hoga?
So we all know that we are living in decade. So this is an era which is dominated by technology. अगर Paytm नहीं करेंगे तो payment नहीं होगा, digital नहीं करेंगे तो कुछ नहीं होगा. So Paytm with its product and services is empowering merchants and everyone to leverage the power of digital. From from a nukkad wala, chota sa agar sabzi wala hai, to a branded store. Paytm is everywhere. And I tell you a very interesting example here. So there's this woman who is running a pottery store, a chota sa store in Rajasthan. And she was blind. okay? And Paytm, as you all know, there's a device called Soundbox which confirms your payment. And we randomly checked with that person, and she said, I was not able to, see whether I'm getting the payment or not. But with this device, my business has grown multifold. So this is kind of impact we are creating with our, consistent innovations and services.
Congratulations. And for all of us who have used Paytm, it is truly a remarkable innovation, that Paytm Soundbox. The first time we saw it, we were all pleasantly surprised, and I'm sure it's of fantastic use to entrepreneurs. All right, our next award category is India's top innovative SME, Micro, and here are the nominees. Now, innovation comes in many different shapes, sizes, and forms. India's top innovative MSMEs category acknowledges business innovations that spur growth for the company and create better benchmarks for the market. The award for India's top innovative MSME Micro goes to Alpha Mers Limited. May I invite the top leadership of Alpha Mers? Sir, if I'm not wrong, your company does a lot of work in trash management, right? Different kinds of work.
Yeah. Okay, I'll take about 2 minutes if you permit.
2 minutes is too long. Now waiting for dinner and break. We'll give you 30 seconds.
30 seconds, okay. Fine. We have developed solutions for cleaning rivers, one of the most successful today. 2,200 tons of plastics was removed from the river in 1 year. Then we have developed robotics. Thank you. That 5 seconds is my grace period. Okay, thank you. We developed robotics, hydraulic robots to clean petroleum tanks, eliminating man entry. And this is made for one of the highest explosive zones. Then we have developed silt traps to manage silt better, lower cost in streams. Then we have developed an ocean wave to electricity converter, tested it, very happy with that. Then we went on to design a wave-powered boat. Broadly, how your stomach follows your body when you're sitting in a roller coaster, there's a small phase lag. And we have used that principle to harness the energy from the movements. And yeah, another 30 seconds?
Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Briefly, our journey, when I look at innovation, we are sitting almost like on the zero on the x-axis. On the negative side, minus x side, you have all your learnings, what you have heard, what you have seen, what you have learned, experienced, all of that. It's like a repository of knowledge. And on the plus side, you have only your uninhibited imagination. On the plus side, it's like a 10-year-old daydreamer. And on the minus side is like a seasoned technocrat with a lot of knowledge. And we have to flip between these two sides all the time to innovate something useful. We've been doing that. We call it assembly lining innovation. And with a small team, I'm missing them here, but we feel very grateful to you for having awarded us. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Alpha Mers. Congratulations, sir. Right, the next award category is India's top innovative MSME Small, and here are the nominees. Now, these are companies that are focused on doing things differently and chosen to introduce a new idea, method, or device. Now, by doing so, they've created value for their customers and for their stakeholders. The winner of India's top innovative MSME Small is Panvo Organics Limited. May I invite the leadership of Panvo onto stage? So you're in the organics business. You're in the organics business, am I right? As well as pharma. Do you like organic growth or inorganic growth?
Organic growth.
So no acquisitions, you're going to grow slowly with profits and accrued?
No, we believe organic growth is going to be a long-lasting one.
Good policy. Congratulations, sir. Presenters, I promise we'll let you go in just a minute. We're not keeping you captive here. Our next award is for India's top innovative MSME in the medium category, and here are the nominees. As you can see, this was a fairly competitive category with many nominees, and the jury decided that not one but two winners in this category, both equally deserving. So I'm going to announce the two winners, but in no particular order. Both are equally deserving. The first winner is Electronic Devices Worldwide Private Limited. May I invite the management of Electronic Devices Worldwide. All right, quick question for Electronic Devices. I'm fairly worried that next year, this time, ET will hire a robot to do my job. Is it possible that I could be replaced?
Maybe something like ChatGPT, huh? AI. No, not your charisma, right? Yeah. 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 Yeah, many jobs are at stake. Yeah. Yeah. Be on your turn.
Whenever there will be a technology disruption, there will be some actually question mark that time, but eventually actually it will take over.
Eventually it will take over. All right, okay. So we hope humans will still rule at the next year's ET MSME Awards. Congratulations. The second winner in this category, like I told you in no particular order, excuse me, is Neptunus Power Plant Services. May I invite the senior management of Neptunus onto stage? There you are. You're very young to be receiving awards like this. What is the secret of your youth?
The secret of my youth is just I was born in 1990. That's it. I guess a lot of belief, a lot of hard work, a great team, and a lot of fortune as well. Very proud to have done what we've done over the last few decades, and yeah, a long way to go as well. So very happy. Thank you, ET, for the award. Thank you.
We wish you to infinity and beyond. All right, before we let you go off stage, Nidhi, quick question for you. There's one school of thought that believes that the job of a business is to produce a product legally and to make profits legally and to distribute the profits to shareholders. That CSR is not really a company's job, it is the government's job or civil society's job. Agree or disagree?
Disagree, Suresh, because I feel, especially in a country like India, if you want to make any kind of a difference, it has to be a collaborative approach. And government by itself cannot do anything. So the participation of the population across the country, which means a lot of businesses, without the business, it's not possible. So I think it's a joint responsibility of individuals, companies, and governments to do that.
See, yeah. Definitely, because see, when you do CSR, your employees are motivated. They want to do some work.
they want to do something to society. So many of the companies who are doing well, retaining employees are very good. So I think we also have responsibility. When we do, we were very happy.
All right. So CSR is good for business, actually. It's not just a favor that companies are doing to society. All right. On that note, thank you very much, Ms. Basim and Mr. Ponnuswamy. Thank you. We now move to the next set of awards. To present the awards, may I invite back on stage Ms. Chandrima Chatterjee, Secretary General, Confederation of Indian Textile Industry, and Deepak Ajwani, Editor, economictimes.com. Ms. Chatterjee, Deepak, can we have you on stage? Our next award category is Indian MSME Women Entrepreneur of the Year, Micro. And here are the nominees. Coming up in just a second, the nominees for MSME Women Entrepreneur of the Year, Micro. Right, those are the nominees. Now, out of the 3 crore MSMEs registered on the government's Udyam platform, less than 20% are owned by women, and many of these are single-person-led micro enterprises. Obviously, this underscores the tremendous grit and dedication that is needed for a woman to succeed in this sector. And the distinguished winner in this category is Just Words Consultants. May I invite the top management of Just Words onto stage. All of us yearn for the day when this category can be eliminated from a business award. Right? There should be no women entrepreneur. There should just be entrepreneur. Agree or disagree?
Well, there's always this. No, I think it's great to have this category because, in that way we at least see what women entrepreneurs are doing, and it's a big opportunity as well. And ideally, there should not be women entrepreneurs and male entrepreneurs. There's no category for men entrepreneurs. That's a raging debate always. But I feel by doing that, at least, it's a recognition of also what we're doing. It's great to have this award, and thank you so much for it. Whatever way, it's an award. So women or men, doesn't matter.
Have you won it?
Thank you.
Being a journalist, I have a follow-up question. Why this name and what do you do?
So we believed when we started that, every business has a story to tell. And, it's the stories which actually have the impact, the power to change. And for every business, it's, when you tell the story, it makes the relationships, it makes people care, it builds trust, it's everything for a business. And it creates opportunities. So one is, finally it comes down to those stories and to market those stories. So, it's a combination of content marketing. So that's what the whole idea was. And words mattered, yes.
Right, congratulations, Just Words. Let's move on to our next winner. The next award category is the Indian MSME Entrepreneur of the Year, Small, and here are the nominees. The winner for this category is Our Process Outsourcing Services Private Limited, with over 1,000 analysts, 70% from rural backgrounds, 60% female, and 10% individuals with disabilities. Our process assists clients in food label analysis for healthier options. We have the top management of Our Process on stage. So the question for Our Process is, you've opted for a fairly tough business model. It's not an easy business model. You could have hired people at lowest cost. Instead, you're opting for the higher cost, a more complicated option. What drives you to choose this complicated option?
the option is India is a huge resource and talent pool that goes beyond metros. So we choose to leverage that population and provide services globally from a very local talent. So we hope that all the talent that's beyond metros can actually make a global impact. Thank you.
Would the other two founders like to say anything?
It's great to be here, and thank you for recognizing us. And it's the effort of 1,000+ rural background employees which is making a mark today. Thank you so much.
Women.
60%, yeah. I mean, yes, we have more than 60% of women who are actually employed and working towards whatever we've gained today. And thank you, ET, for recognizing our efforts. Thank you.
Congratulations, our process, once again. That brings us to the next award category, the Indian MSME Women Entrepreneur of the Year, Medium, and here are the nominees. Right, I have to call them back for the second time this evening on stage. The winner for the Indian MSME Women Entrepreneur Medium, once again, is PM Relocations. May I call? All right, we have two generations of people coming up onto stage, Senior PM and Junior PM. I assume that's your daughter? All right. Hi, what's your name?
Samaira.
Samaira? What does your mother do for a job?
What do we do, Samaira?
Any idea? She says nothing.
She's my mom.
All right. It's a full-time job. Congratulations, PM Relocations. Congratulations once again on the second award. With that, Deepak and Ms. Chatterjee, thank you very much for being on stage with us. To give away the next set of awards, may I invite Mr. Mukesh Mohan Gupta, jury member of the ET MSME Awards, and Shalini Koila, AVP, economictimes.com. Mr. Gupta, Shalini, can we have you back on stage? Our next award category is called India's Top Performing MSME of the Year, Micro. And here are the nominees. The winner for India's Top Performing MSME of the Year, Micro, is 1A Advisors. May I call on the top management of 1A Advisors to receive the award? Congratulations, 1A Advisors. Do you have any good advice for us?
Yes, keep it going. I think SMEs, as everyone said, is backbone of Indian economy. I think you rightly said that there's a lot of encouragement which happens in startup sector and so on. I think there should be more of such events. MSMEs do need this encouragement, and yeah, looking forward to more of this. Yes, let's give it a round of applause. Yes. My son there is clapping. He's standing like this. That's my child, Veer Agrawal.
There he is, clapping. All right, if you don't cheer for your own industry, I'm afraid nobody else is going to cheer for you. Congratulations, 1A Advisors. This brings us to our next category, India's Top Performing MSME of the Year, Small. And here are the nominees. As you can see, this is a fiercely contested category with many different nominees. The winner for India's Top Performing MSME of the Year, Small, is Adrila Technologies Private Limited. May I invite the top management of Adrila? Congratulations, Adrila. What is the significance of the name Adrila?
That's interesting, very interesting. So Adrika is my daughter and Laiva is theirs. And we think and we believe that girls are Lakshmi. So that's why Adrila. And they've proven us right. And we've been a very successful bootstrapped company, successfully making a lot of money. Thank you.
Those are words you don't hear very much in the startup world, bootstrapped and making lots of money. Right, so congratulations on both those achievements, bootstrapping and making money. Congratulations, Adrila. And with that, we come to the final award of this evening, India's top performing MSME of the year, Medium. Here are the nominees. Any guesses? The winner of India's top performing MSME of the year, Medium, is Knowledge Marine and Engineering Works Limited. May I call in the top management of KMEW onto stage? It's been said that knowledge is power, and you have knowledge in the name of your company. So if knowledge is power, what is money?
Money is what we are earning. Yeah, definitely.
All right, so we wish you much knowledge and much money in your journey. Congratulations, KMEW. Thank you, Shalini. Thank you, Mr. Gupta, for doing the honors. Quick thanks to our sponsors, technology partner Airtel Business, silver partner Northern Arc, and evaluation partner CareEdge. With that, may I invite Deepak Ajwani back onto stage for the vote of thanks. Deepak.
Thanks a lot, Suresh. Thank you, every single one of you who's taken the time and effort to come at a short notice, because I know we announced or at least intimated some of you just a week ago. So first of all, thank you so much for taking time out to meet the 26 jewels that our jury has chosen for today's evening. If it takes 26 alphabets to make English, it's these 26 jewels. We call it the A to Z of awards and MSME awards that we hold each year. For us, it was 10,000 plus entries this year. So all the 26 of you, you were competing with 10,000 plus companies who had applied. Whittled down to 2,800 who had the numbers. With our due diligence process, we asked so many details that it was reduced to 2,800 who really were able to finish all the numbers and the questions that we asked. And from there began the journey, understanding each of these numbers, cutting down all the entries which still didn't qualify. And mind you, our jury was so particular that we've had 2 rounds to choose the final 26 winners. So thanks a lot, jury, and thank you, everyone. Hope you had a great evening. Please spread the word. For us, MSME matters. At Economic Times, it's not the size, it's what you do and the entrepreneurial spirit that you bring to this business. MSME is the nervous system of trade and economy for this nation. And for us, that's why we value you all, we value the efforts you make, and we like to celebrate with you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Deepak, for that inspiring message. With that, we come to the end of the ET MSME Awards 2023. Congratulations to all our winners. Thank you to all our jury members and presenters. But the evening is not over yet. we'd like to invite all of you for dinner and celebratory drinks, which is served in the pre-function area. Thank you for being here.